snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys! So today I'm going to be filming a book review, and the book that I'm going to be reviewing is Red Seas Under Red Skies, which is book 2 in the Gentleman Bastards series, which is by Scott Lynch. I really enjoyed this book and I have so much to say about it. This is non-spoiler, so don't worry about that, but this is such a good book, guys, and I really enjoyed it, so let's get into it. So one thing I really have to pick up on is that the plot of this book is just so interwoven, so brilliantly composed and connected, and everything kind of looks as if it's just never going to come together and nothing is going to work, because there's so many strings that are just really different and you're thinking, oh my goodness, how can this all work? How can this plot finish up? What is going to happen? The whole way through you really have no idea how it's going to end, and I just knew it was going to be a really good end, but I didn't know how it was going to get there. So when it did all eventually come together at the end, that was wonderful, and I was really happy with the way that things turned out. And I just desperately needed the next one, so I have actually purchased the next one on my Kindle because I intend to buy it when it comes out in paperback, but that is not for a little while, so yeah, I'm really excited about getting the third one and starting that very soon as well though. This book focuses on two of the main characters who are in the first book, Lies of Locke Lamora, and that is Jean and Locke. And Locke is obviously a master thief. He has been brought up to be a thief, and he is very good at elaborate plots, so he will go to all sorts of different lengths, and he is prepared to spend 2 or 3 years even on one scheme to rob a very rich merchant of something very valuable, just to kind of prove how cunning and witty and clever he is, because he is the one who can pull off such a giant stunt. So he's very good at planning things and thinking things through and coming up with solutions where maybe you didn't think that they were possible. He can find a way. If there's a will, there's a way, and that really sums him up. He's a really fun character, very witty and very enjoyable to read, because he plays so many different personalities in this story that it makes him very enjoyable, because there's always something new and always something different going on with him. And he's really fun. He's just the kind of guy that if you ever get into a little spot of bother, you probably want to have him around, because he can probably talk his way out of it. His mouth probably gets him into just as much trouble as it gets him out of, but it's all part of the fun of this story, and it's just a really fun character and story. And then we have Jean, who is actually Locke's best friend, and they're like a kind of team together. And Jean is actually kind of the muscle of their operation. He's the one who can force people to do stuff. If Locke's charm is not working on them, then he's got a little bit of the power that could perhaps force them to change their decision. So he's a very kind of bulky guy. He's very fit and very well trained at defending Locke, and he gets Locke out of quite a few tricky situations that they come across within this book. So it is a story all about their escapades together, and it's basically got two main plot lines, and they are that they're trying to rob a very rich person of something very valuable to them, and that is focused all around Tel Vera. That all focuses in Tel Vera. And then there's also a sort of another plot line that is going on, which is to do with piracy and piracy on the high seas, and kind of getting them involved in the pirate way of life. So there's two sort of plots going on parallel to one another, and it's really interesting how the two interweave, because it is very much a balancing act between the two plot lines that the two main characters are having to lie their way through and cheat their way around to make sure that the whole story works, because otherwise they would become caught and ensnared in their own lies, and that would not be very fun. And there are a few little situations where things do get a little bit tight and maybe they won't succeed, but of course they are the brilliant Locke and Jean, so of course they are going to succeed, and they are just brilliant characters. And the whole thing was wonderful. Some of the other characters who are new in this book include Requiem, who is the rich guy that they are trying to steal from. He's a very astute, noble person. He runs the Sinspire, which is essentially a massive gaming house which has different floors that you can work your way up, and he essentially is the owner of that, and he's the person who they have to trick and get into his organisation and con him out of lots of valuable things. So he's kind of on one side of the plot, and then on the other side of the plot is Stragos, who is another very rich guy, very powerful and influential, and he basically hates Requiem, and they have a big feud going on, and the two main characters find themselves working for both of them, so you can imagine how tricky that is going to be for them. When it gets into the piracy side of the story, there are two really distinctive characters who I absolutely have to mention because they were just so much fun, and that is Drakasha and Del Mastro, because both of them were so much fun. Drakasha, she is a captain of the ship, and she is adorable because she's not what you would stereotypically think a captain would be of a pirate ship. She has two young children who she takes with her, and she's very, very lovely. She understands people and she gives people a chance, and she's very willing to cooperate with people and do the best that she can. So she's very kind, very warm-hearted, but then when it does come to points that she needs to be a captain and run the ship, she's also very tight and quick and strict and very polished. That's her personality, and I really enjoyed her as a character, and I thought that she was kind of like a parallel female version of Locke, and it was very interesting to see, so I enjoyed her a lot. Also, Del Mastro is the first mate on the pirate ship, and I really enjoyed her for the spirit that she had and the things that she brought out in the other characters, because she really develops a friendship with them and she brings out a lot of emotion that we hadn't previously seen in the last book. So on the whole, this was an absolutely amazing read. I really enjoyed it from the start to the end. It was very action-packed, full of so many different things going on, and I cannot wait to read book 3 because I know it will be absolutely amazing and it's going to be so much fun. So if you have never read Scott Lynch, I would highly recommend it. He is a really, really, really brilliant writer, and if you like pirates, this is a really good book. So highly, highly recommend this, and you guys should go and pick it up. Definitely let me know down below if you have read this book, and if you have read it, what you thought of it, because I thought it was a 5-star book and I really, really enjoyed it. And Scott Lynch is now up there with my new favourite authors of Brandon Sanderson and George R.R. Martin and so on. So yeah, I am highly in awe of his writing. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will talk to you all in my next video. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little chat.